Kia ora and welcome to Sign Music Learning. I'm David Ray and this is how to use a microphone and set it up so that it can work in your BandLab project. Now there's a few things to note with this. The first is that your microphone needs to be in the right space for you, and I thought I'd show you using a curtain based background versus using a flat base to show you a little bit more about this. So what I mean by that is a curtain behind you or some sort of padding will create a texture that allows your vocal performance to be better when recorded with just a laptop. We're going to assume that you don't have access to a microphone, you're just using your laptop or your Chromebook's microphone. There's two main things to factor in to make a long story short. The first one is when you're recording, obviously for this video, I'm quite far away from the microphone. If you're going to record a vocal take, this is about where you want to take it, and you want to make sure that when you go to record that it'll be a lot quieter that you take the recording. You'll be able to have a look at that by just selecting the track like this. If I just add new track, add an audio track, I can see my input level is nice and green. If I'm too loud, it starts to go to yellow, but if I'm there, this is too far away. So I want a good healthy sound when I'm recording. This will do. I can boost the gain later, but it's nicer for a good clean recording so that I get less of the room and more of me if I'm recording vocals nice and close. 20 centimeters away from the microphone is about the maximum you want to be away if you want a good quality, your best vocal performance. The next thing to factor in is that behind me I have curtains which are soft and they're not as reflective as if I came over here, and you hear it just so much differently. It's more reflective because it's bouncing off a surface. Okay, so there's some things to factor in there, just in terms of quality of sound. Right, the next thing I wanted to show you is the recording process. So I'm actually going to delete this one, and I'm going to do it on this one here. I've got my sound from before that I took. This was my atmospheric recording. Sounds like this. Now, the first thing to note is that if I was to record this and sing into it, I would want to have headphones. We're going to assume that I don't have headphones, but wired headphones will allow you to not have anything that's in here in the actual recording. Yeah, it's going to record what is the output of the sound from your laptop or your Chromebook. It's going to record that. So, for example, if I record and show you what not to do first, you can hear the metronome, and you can hear me talking. Cool, you can hear me talking like that. You can hear me talking, and the metronome's in, so you might want to take the metronome out. If it's only going to your ears, it will be different. Alright, so if we take that metronome off, if I'm recording to a track and I'm wanting to make sure that I don't get as much track but I can still hear it as a reference point, I'm going to turn this right down to record to, so that way it's not coming back through the mix as much, okay? So that's assuming you don't have headphones. Let's have a go at this. Right, you've got a sound file that's really small. See the difference between this and look at that, it's much healthier. Alright, so you get the general idea. Now the next thing that's going to improve your sound is if you don't have any background noise that's happening at all. Any of these two tracks that are here, this atmospheric pad and this instrument, if they're put into wireless headphones, that's going to improve. You may have some latency issues if you're going to record with an older Chromebook. So if it's 5 to 7 years old, you're going to have a latency potential problem. The way you have to look at this is in, and I have to remember this, is in Tools, Latency Test, Round Trip Latency Correction. If you're feeling like you're slightly behind the beat, this test will check your latency caused by your computer hardware. So you might want to have a look at this and just see how we're going. Just round trip latency. Test is unsuccessful. Too much background noise. I need to try it again, and I'm stopping talking. So my latency is 89. They will correct the applied time when you push record next time in the session. So it's adjusting for that. And that's really important for Chromebooks that are older. Otherwise, you'll have a really hard time getting an audio that lines up to something that you've already put in with MIDI. Cool. That's today's video. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.